Reject any further proceedings with respect to this bill at this time.
Objection having been heard, the measure will be placed on the calendar.
Madam President, I recognize that we're in a partisan environment. And in a partisan environment, there is temptation to turn every issue into a political issue. We certainly live in one of those environments today. And that's regrettable, but far from unfamiliar. Politics in our representative government, of course, and they always have. The founders created a system of checks and balances, 3 branches of government, for example, and 2 chambers of the Congress, precisely because they anticipated these passions, our founding fathers did. They wanted to keep us from going our way. Long after that system was created, a new independent federal agency was created in the same spirit of checks and balances. That agency is the National Labor Relations Board and acts as a check on employers and employees alike. It safeguards employees' rights to unionize or not to unionize, if they so choose. It mediates allegations of unfair labor practices, and it does all this independent of any outside influence. The Acting General Counsel of the NLRB is a man who is as nonpartisan and independent as the agency he works for. Last month, he issued a complaint against one of America's large companies, Boeing. The complaint alleges that after Boeing workers in some states went on strike, the company retaliated by opening a new production line in a non-union facility. That kind of retaliation, if that's what happened, is of course illegal. That's just the background. I'm not here to judge the merits of the case. In fact, I'm here to do the exact opposite, to remind the Senate that prejudging the case is not our job. That would overstep long-established boundaries and weaken our system of checks and balances. Lately, though, some of our Republican colleagues have attacked the NLRB and tried to poison the decision-making process. They're interfering with a case pending before a legal body. For example, every Republican senator on the HELP Committee, and Madam President, let's remind everyone, the L in HELP stands for labor. They sent a letter to the Acting General Counsel defending Boeing. The letter itself, sent 6 weeks before a hearing even takes place, seems questionable at the very best. But these 10 Republicans went further. They went out of their way to link to the Acting General Counsel's pending nomination. If there were ever a case of intimidation, that sounds like it to me. But that's not all. 8 state attorney general, all Republicans, also signed a letter to the Acting General Counsel, calling on him to withdraw the complaint against Boeing. Again, long before an administrative judge has had the opportunity to even look at the case, let alone review the case. I strongly encourage all of them to take a step back, my Republican colleagues on the HELP Committee and these attorneys general. We all know that Republicans dislike organized labor. We know they disdain unions because unions demand fairness and equality from the big businesses Republicans so often shield at all costs. So let's be honest. Republicans are threatened by unions. They're threatened because when a large organized group is so concerned with workers' rights, the members of that group vote in large numbers. And because Republicans and big businesses they defend so often try to take away workers' rights, workers don't often vote Republican. This kind of interference is inappropriate, it's disgraceful, and dangerous. We wouldn't allow threats to prosecutors or U.S. attorneys trying to stop them from moving forward with charges they see fit to bring to the courts. And we shouldn't stand for this. It may not be illegal, but it's no better than the retaliation and intimidation that is the fundamental question in this case. It should stop. We need agencies like the NLRB to be able to operate freely and without political pressures. We need to keep our independent agencies independent. This case is for them to decide, not for us to decide. Would the Chair now announce morning business?
Under the previous order, the leadership time is reserved. Under the previous order, the Senate will be in a period of morning business for debate only until 2 p.m., with senators permitted to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each, with the first hour equally divided and controlled between the 2 leaders or their designees, with the Republicans controlling the 30 minutes and the majority controlling